It's the Marc Clarke Morning Show. Healthy, wealthy, and wise.
And welcome to the show. What is going on? Happy Friday. So glad it's the weekend, baby. And Vegas is ready for the weekend. Brown cow on today. Letting the world know you're ready for the weekend. We got good news, Bootsy.
We do? I do. I actually have good news too, but you know.
Stan Richards, who was on the show yesterday, I just saw this on Facebook. He says excited. His PSA came back negative. Go ahead, my brother Stan.
Domain Stan.
It's time to go change the world, you know. And Bootsy, you've been there before. It's so important that we sometimes the bills, the family, the husband, the wife, the girlfriend and the wife will get you in a funky mood. And you need to realize it's what a blessing every single day is. Man, correct, Bootsy?
Ooh, I'm telling you. And then the other thing is, and I know people may not understand this, the other side, once you weather these storms, the other side is so much better. You have so much more to offer. You have so much insight. You have so much more that you can really convey on the world. And then I really believe the universe connects with you on that as well to open opportunities, because that's what I've been dealing with literally the last 2 years. Like yesterday, I pulled something else off. So trust me, when you connect all these dots together with your diet, your mental, your health, it opens so much more what you can do.
Bootsy, I thought about you yesterday. It was a great thing you said afterwards, talking about how you basically are dedicated to putting good foods into your body, right? And, you know, being intentional, you being mindful. And, you know, and that's what happens. Every time you open up your mouth, you really have to ask yourself the question, am I adding to this positive situation, or am I contributing to a negative situation? Right. So thank you, Bootsy, for that. Good morning.
But hold on. Coach Roz said it the best. The first day that Coach Roz was on here, she said that you should not go a day without understanding what healthiness are you putting in your body. She was like, if you go all day, try to at least 50% of your day, try to add something healthy into whatever it is your diet and start from there. And that really kicked in more for me even when we started at the beginning of February. So thank her for that too.
Jarrell's chiming in. What's up, Jarrell? Good morning. I see Deidre's also out there. Tiffany, Fintress, my crew is out there representing. So, and speaking of crew, you know, Sandra is always with us every morning. This morning she joins us live. Bootsy, Sandra Pearsall is in the building. Now, you know, she wears many hats.
Yes,
and this is a hat that people maybe don't know. In addition to the real estate, in addition to the crypto, in addition to her amazing life story, Sandra also has worked in the pharmaceutical field forever.
What?
And so Sandra's gonna break down some of that pharmaceutical, comparing it to healthy lifestyle. And speaking of pharmaceutical, you mentioned it already. Coach Roz is in the building. Coach Roz, looking at drinking her water. Coach Roz is in the building. Bootsy just shouted you out, Coach Roz, talking about
picking you up.
You know, every day having something healthy. And then also in the building this morning, she is not only my little sister, not only my amazing neighbor, but also she is a CEO and owner of her own gym, ladies and gentlemen, her own fitness company, ladies and gentlemen. And this is Elizabeth. Elizabeth Savage joins us this morning too. So we got a whole crew of amazing women joining us. Look at Elizabeth. Elizabeth's the bad. I remember, I never forget it. So Elizabeth is our neighbor, and this was years ago. And Elizabeth it was her baby time. She was having babies every minute. And so being Elizabeth would, first of all, shout out to Allison to allow me and Elizabeth to have this amazing little friendship, because Elizabeth is fine. Look at her. She's fine. She's amazing. So me and Elizabeth, we would go walking. We walk every day. You know, Elizabeth at the time was pregnant with, I think, was Elizabeth fourth baby?
Fourth, Giselle.
And so we're walking. You know, Elizabeth is trying to deal with her baby weight. I'm trying to deal with my human weight. And Elizabeth, we go down to her basement, and she pulled out these jeans. I think they were a size 6. She said, "Mark, I am getting back after this baby. I'm getting back to this. I have no doubts it's going to happen." And sure enough, Elizabeth she's back and amazing. And then, since there's conversations about what we're going to do with our life, Elizabeth has, got a real estate thing. She's got her own gym in Bethesda, ladies and gentlemen, her own health company with supplements.
You blowing that horn today. You blowing that horn today, boy. Boy, he's looking for a reason, ladies. He's looking for a reason to blow the horn.
A reason for the horn, right?
Man.
So, okay, make sure I got everybody. So, okay, boom. We got Elizabeth. We got Sandra. We got Coach Roz. Okay, great. Okay, we're talking women's health. So, Coach Roz, you start off, Coach, because we are day 18 or so in our Veguary. Get us caught up on that, and then just set the table for us this morning. How you doing, Coach Roz?
I'm good. Can you hear me well? Are you able to hear me?
You do. You sound it sounds a little overmodulated a little bit.
Yeah, it's sounding crazy. You all are sounding crazy to me too.
You might want to cut it off and cut it back on, because that happens to me a lot because of Marc's Wi-Fi. So maybe if you came on and come back off, it'll be a little bit different.
Hop back on, Coach.
All right.
Okay. And then Coach was trying to ask me. She was asking me in the thing. And so Elizabeth, again, you've been through. You're a mommy. You've had children. You've gained weight. You lost weight. You gained weight. You lost weight. And so you really understand the challenge that women face on so many levels. You're a Black woman who owns your own business. So set the table, Elizabeth. It's women's health. We're talking about it today. What are your thoughts? Where are you these days when it comes to health and women, being a woman?
I think it's complicated, especially it can be complicated by hormones with women, especially during like the post and perimenopausal period. So that's actually kind of the area that I focus on. Women in between 40 and 60, it just gets tough. Our body starts shifting, and I think that is probably the most pivotal point in our life where we're like, things are packing on that they ain't used to be packing on, And
it's interesting, Elizabeth, that you said the hormonal balance, because as you know, my Spencer is going through, I think trying to figure out, that's another part. I guess that's the other phase, right? When that teenage time when the hormones are a problem, not a problem, your body's adjusting and you're going through this thing. And I think it has to be so tough, because especially if you don't have anybody around who can at least give you an understanding. And so, Elizabeth, for those women who are going through like you say, if it's the young side or dealing with the plus 40 and the premenopausal, the menopause, give us some tips on maybe how to cope with that, because a lot of times I think women are they feel very alone in that. The husband, the boyfriend, even the kids don't necessarily understand what mommy's going through. It's too hot, it's too cold, it's just right. It's like I might be snappy. Give us some tips to handle that. And Elizabeth, as you're saying that, Dr. Green joins us too. Also joins us. Dr. Green's in the building. Dr. Green, welcome.
Everybody. Good morning.
And so Elizabeth is talking about hormones and women. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Yeah, first just get a baseline. I think, as you touched on yesterday, it's so important to bridge that gap and get your physical, get a full blood panel done. Make sure there's nothing going on with your endocrine system, like that's your hormonal system, that your TSH and your T3, those are your thyroid hormones, that they're homeostatic or they're level. So then you can make sure, there's some peace of mind there. Like you're not working up against anything. So once you make sure that that you're not hypothyroid, your thyroid isn't sluggish, it's not hormones like acute hormone issue, then you can start going to work on like more natural approaches, which is like adequate sleep that you guys talked about yesterday. And really the biggest thing with adequate sleep is your hormones. It actually is a direct effect on your leptin and ghrelin, which regulate your hunger fullness cues. So it can make you feel like you're hungry when you're not, when you're sleep deprived, because you don't have enough ghrelin or leptin. It makes you feel like you're never satiated. So it's really important to get adequate sleep and then exercise, and you're adding in endorphins, and your body's putting enough energy out. All of these things like factor into your weight, right? So like as long as there's nothing acute going on, that would be the first step. Then I would go to work on
it was interesting with my daughter. She's having like the period issue and the spotting and doesn't know what this and the feeling sluggish. And so I said, well, she needs to go get a panel, go get her blood work. And then Alice was like, well, why? And it's so interesting. I realized that we are so like, we don't know what to do. Like, we want to do everything. I was like, well, at least we could find out what's going on with, the blood work, or at least tell what's going on with her body. But then you have to have the doctor and the health professionals that you're comfortable with, that you respect, that can evaluate exactly what's going on, right? And not necessarily put you on medicine for the fix, but to explain to you, well, this is what's happening, right? And so it seems to be very complex. And speaking of complex, we have another. We got a full panel today. This young lady I've known since she was a baby, and now she's a grown woman doing big things. Brooke Stewart joins the conversation. Brooke, what's going on?
Good morning, greeting. How are you?
Brooke is
wonderful. Thank you for having me on, Mark.
Definitely. Brooke is in that space. She's in the kind of naturopathic space that also we'll talk about too. And so again, Dr. Green just hopped on. Coach Rise, how's your levels now? You good? How we sounding now?
I think I'm good now. You sound wonderful.
Okay,
and
good.
I sound wonderful. Awesome.
That's right. And so Coach Rise and Doc, it is, we're doing our Veggie Weight Challenge. We're around, 18, 19. Get us caught up on where we are with the Veggie Weight Challenge for those who are participating, and even for those who aren't with this vegan challenge.
Well, listen, I know that today is day 18 and we are doing magnificent. Everybody is, I guess by now, kind of adjusted, and amazing meals, recognizing different energy levels in the body, focused, and I must say I'd like to see more exercise in the group. I see you every morning, Marc Clarke, getting it in, and but other than that, I think is going well. What about you, Dr. Tashika?
Absolutely, I would agree. It is going very well. This week, we are going to focus on the last habit of mine, developing discipline. So we looked at cultivating consistency. We talked about commitment. We first started with the mindset of just shifting your mindset, and we talked about being courageous. And so this week we're going to talk about developing discipline. And I already have shared today some apps that you can download to help you along your way, and also for you to research and discover some of those things, because we have seen that it's really these things that need to take place before we can say this is what we want to become. We have to change our mindset. We have to be committed. We have to be consistent and develop this discipline. And so this week, this is, you might as well say, our last full week, the week of February 21st. And we're going to talk about discipline and also talk about how to pave your own way. So after the 28 days, remember, it takes 21 days to form a habit. So if you got to day 21, day 22 is going to be a breeze. So those last 6 days, we're going to talk about how to make this consistent in your everyday, and how you're going to make that change even after the 28 days. So I'm excited. Today is our giveaway, Mark. You might be a winner, so make sure you stay tuned. And you'll get your click. You got mail from me today.
And again, so Coach and Doc, if they want to reach you guys, how can they get in contact with you? And again, it's not too late. Even though we call it Veguary, this whole lifestyle we're all on board with, and healthy living we're all on board with. So that you can still, reach out to Coach or Doc if you just want information on how to live a healthier lifestyle. how can they reach you?
Absolutely. So for me, you can go to www.seasons.com. So that's www.seasons.com, or you can follow me on my social media pages at Tashika Green or Dr. Tashika Green.
And for myself, Heavenly Bodies Live, heavenlybodieslive.com. That is my website. And I'm on social media as well, Heavenly Bodies Live on Facebook. And also, I just like to say that to piggyback off of what you just said, Mark, is that you can start at any time, anytime. I'd rather for you to start when you're ready than for you to jump in and hide. And then by hiding, I mean just not really ready. You're not ready. And so I can actually coach you through this 28-day veguary, 28-day vegan challenge, or 30-day or 40-day sugar detox, where you'll be able to find all of that information on my website. And we can just get started. Just like Nike says, just do it. Jump in, jump in. And really, if you jump in and you complete 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, that's fine. That's fine because you did start. And hopefully I can actually add some things to your lifestyle that will make you better, just beneficial to your whole wealthy and healthy lifestyle, period.
Coach and Doc, you're welcome to sit in the conversation and participate, but I know you guys are busy and I always hit you last minute. So either way, y'all can hang and chill or y'all can bolt out. Either way, it's Friday too. So either way.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mark. I'll hang for a little bit, but you know me, always being purposeful.
Right.
Yes, and I can hang for a little bit too.
And nice meeting you ladies today.
And so, so Brooke, we actually reconnected. Brooke and I worked in media forever. And then I saw Brooke kind of like just not show up. I didn't recognize you on Instagram, all these beautiful posts on health, all this activity, and it was like, wow, I didn't know this aspect of you. I didn't know, but I think I do remember when you first started to get into the space of being a vegetarian, and so I think did we just lose Brooke?
Yeah, I mean the intro was so good she couldn't even take it all in. Okay,
and so but so she'll pop back in, but it was great because it's almost like you see, and that's what happens. You grow, people at a certain stage, and then they kind of grow to another, and and so we'll hop in. Brooke will hop back in, but and then Sandra, on the other hand. Sandra, who has I know Sandra through real estate first and then crypto and then talking about her life story. Next thing you know, Sandra was telling me, oh yeah, by the way, Mark, I've been in the pharmacy business for 25 years. What? And so
wow. Who
Sandra.
Who knew Sandra did all this stuff? That's amazing.
Right. I wanted to, so you got Coach and you got Sandra, and it's funny. I think Elizabeth, I may be having some technical problems. I don't know. But Sandra and Coach is in the actually the natural healing, almost like you're using nature as your pharmacy. And then Sandra, who also is that way too, but happens to know the inside scoop on medicine. And Sandra, you kind of always send me information on medicine, right? And you were talking about, I was asking, it was funny, I know I was grilling Sandra. It's like, well, what about this? I was asking about my high blood pressure medicine. I was asking about this. She's like, well, Mark, that one's not bad, but you gotta be careful with your kidneys. So Sandra, when you're working in that, these medicines that we take, many of us take them every day. Are the kidneys, the main thing, I guess water intake and kidneys, when you have to take medicine every day, you have to take it because of your, whatever, getting your levels regulated. Talk to us about the medicines, the ones that in your mind sometimes are you have to keep your eye on, maybe the ones that are stronger, or just in general,
Well, thank you again for having me. For the most part, all medicines you have to really watch, and it's not one particular medicine that's better than the other. The very most important thing is making sure the medication is effective. A lot of times, Bootsy hit on some things yesterday. A lot of times, some of the medications that we take, we could take supplements that are more healthier for us. Like he talked about the turmeric, you have apple cider vinegar. Um, medication can be good for you, but it can also be bad for you as well. One of the major things, especially for Black people in general, we have vitamin D deficiencies, and we don't get enough sunlight, and vitamin D deficiencies cause a lot of different medical illnesses. People have chronic pain because they don't get enough vitamin D. So a lot of times, just a vitamin D supplement can help you out with pain. You have stuff like garlic. Garlic is good for cholesterol and blood pressure. We take blood pressure pills, and a lot of these blood pressure pills, I'm not against medication because I do know medication do work, but medication do have a lot of side effects, and a lot of people are not aware of the side effects. And if you're not aware of what you're taking, you don't even know if it's really working for you or against you. I work in the pharmacy. I'm actually over 31 years now in pharmacy, and I've done investigational drugs. I've done home infusion pharmacy. I've done hospital and emergency room pharmacy. And it's so important that people know, if you on a blood pressure medication, if you not taking your blood pressure daily and monitoring, how do you know if the blood pressure medication is effective? So a lot of people are taking these medications and not monitoring their bodies, and if these drugs are effective. Now, one of the main things that I have issues with prescription medications are, a lot of them are addictive. You have just about everything you put in your body is addictive, if you take it long enough, and your body get the need in this medication. Like a lot of people, take like depression, anxiety medication. That medication helps, but also is highly addictive. And what a lot of people don't know about these medications, if you take a pill and you on a pretty high dose and it doesn't seem to feel like it's working, some people will just pop another pill, but it can depress your respiratory, and this is why it's so many deaths, stars. It's a lot. You hear about the stars, but you don't hear about the regular people. The regular people that's dying every day from overdoses of medication. When, like yesterday, Bootsy said about taking like melatonin, because you do lose serotonin and stuff like that, over time and every day. So it will cause you to have problems sleeping and stuff like that, and even functioning. Now, the melatonin that he talked about yesterday is very good for sleep. Instead of taking a medication like Xanax or clonazepam that's very highly addictive, you could take something like melatonin and get pretty much the same effect with a safer ingestion and safer on your body.
Speak on it. Speak on it.
So
Yes.
Sandra, let me hop in. And so, and Brooke's back, and so we'll come back to you, Brooke. But Coach Roz, I wanted to ask you. So, all this information in pharmacy, and all the challenges, is this what led you, Coach Roz, to go ahead and get certified in the naturopathic area? I don't know if I said that word right, but
Yeah.
was that what made you go that curious to go and say, I'm going to go ahead and get certified in this field of natural medicine?
So, an herbalist, a clinical herbalist, and so yes, that is the exact reason. I first pretty much tried it on myself, and when I say tried it, I mean for simple things like allergies, because, you know, mostly everybody knows about the Benadryl. Give Benadryl to the children to calm them down. But I personally did not like Benadryl. So my first experience with herbs was with nettles. I started taking nettles around the springtime to help with my allergies, my runny nose and watery eyes, the itchiness. Nettles is a herb, is a plant that resembles an antihistamine. And I learned about that. And then after kept, I had clients that were coming to me with hypertension, with diabetes, with libido issues, um, cholesterol issues. I said, wait a minute, I'm using herbs for my issues. Let me dig deeper. So that's when I decided to go to school to become an herbalist. And now what I do is I formulate herbs, put together herbs that will help those different areas, diabetes, hypertension, and spot on about the prescription medications for sure. I love it. But one thing I would like to say, Mark, before I forget, is the young lady was talking about vitamin D. And definitely, this is the thing. Me being an herbalist, coupled with being a health coach and concentrating on nutrition, herbs, exercise, and essential oils, regulating your diet and what you're putting in your mouth is directly related to vitamin D and K. So if you're not supplementing with vitamin K, then vitamin D a lot of times is not absorbed properly.
Question. While you on this, is vitamin K1 or K2 is the best? Because I know there are a lot of discrepancies on that. A lot of people are confused. Could you just break that down as well? Because most people do have no idea the connection of vitamin K and vitamin D. Please speak on it, Coach.
So this is, yes. So vitamin K1. But this is the thing. This is the most important part, and it's so simple. See, a lot of times we go a little bit deep for people. I want to
Right.
keep it simple. And what they can do to supplement the vitamin K is eating more vegetables, green leafy vegetables, period. More vegetables, your salads, not your iceberg lettuce, but your green, dark leafy green vegetables. They are very high in vitamin K, and if you eat that daily, then you can balance or assist your vitamin D to absorb in your body so that the inflammation won't build up in your body, which causes the pain and a lot of things. Yes, we can get vitamin D from from the sunlight, and calcium, but your vitamin K is what's going to help support your vitamin D and help you overall with your body.
Yes. And oh, I'm sorry, but just to jump in, because I've just noticed this. They're now selling vitamin D and K gummies together. They kind of just, I mean, literally, Mark, maybe a year ago, I just started seeing where people are putting the connection together. Now, how I learned about it, Mark, not to cut you off, is when I had my stem cell transplant. So remember, I had stage 4 cancer twice in 2 years. My cancer relapsed. You now have to have a stem cell transplant or you will die. The dietitian said 3 things. Mr. Williams, no processed meat, no dairy, no sugar, and please, number 1, do 2 things. Alkaline your bloodstream up, and please understand the benefit of vitamin D and vitamin K. If you want to live, Mr. Williams, this is what you do. So, and I know recently a lot of people have been really investing in vitamin D and not understanding the real connection with vitamin K. It's almost like you're wasting the vitamin D if you do not do it with the vitamin K. That is so essential. Sorry, Mark, for cutting you off.
Oh, no problem. But I think it's funny. Now, Brooke, I was going to go to Elizabeth, but Brooke, I'm going to bring you on this because I think what we're talking about is just balance, right? And I think, again, I haven't talked to Brooke in years as you know, Brooke is this, like a health, again, a health influencer. And so, Brooke, it sounds like balance is a big player in all this, and we talk about health in general, right?
Balance, it definitely. Hi, everybody. Happy
Welcome,
Hi.
welcome, Brooke.
Hey,
Hi,
Brooke.
Mark. Hey, Mark. I haven't seen Mark in years. He has one dimple. I have one. He has my one. I have his other one. So, but balance is very important. I started off mostly with holistic healing, as far as like the body. I've never been an advocate on medicine. To this day, I still don't take medicine. I use everything from my plants. I'm right now. I'm in the middle of it. Just all juicing. I'm juicing, but like romaine lettuce has everything you need. Swiss chard has everything you need. Fresh dandelion root has everything you need. Like
For
you
your
just
kidneys as well, too. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, I mean, like if you just be friends with your plants, like your plants are living. They want to help you continue to live. So
Right.
your relationship, really close with your plants, do your research.
Right.
We take the words from everybody else, like this is good for you, try it. Okay. No,
Right.
do your own research.
That's right.
Like it's so easy to do your own research and find out what you need and tailor it to you. So
Right.
it's just that simple. People don't take the control of their own lives.
Okay, now, so Elizabeth, I want to hop in. Now we were talking kind of specific health and stuff. Now, just in the general of women's health, Elizabeth, girl, let's talk about women and the balance between being a woman, a mom, a wife, being fit, having to look together. Elizabeth, I've kind of watched you go through all those processes. Like you said, you had your babies back to back. I saw Elizabeth, the mom. I saw Elizabeth, the wife. I saw Elizabeth, the CEO of her own company. I saw Elizabeth, the bad chick who's bench pressing 1 million pounds. And so talk to us, Elizabeth. There's so much that we put on. Women have so much stuff to do, right? And speaking of balance, how do you balance it all? From the specifics of diet to life.
I think like the biggest thing is your internal dialogue, like what you say to yourself, you kind of become. And if you say it's overwhelming or it's a lot or you're not good at it, I think we're very self-defeating. So I think the first thing to balance is just think about your internal dialogue and make sure you are really contributing to your greatness and you're creating thoughts that are projecting towards your destination, which is being happy, right? I think most of our suffering comes from our own head, our own internal psychological dramas. But I wanted to circle back a little bit. You asked a question that was really important, the difference between vitamin K1 and vitamin K2. So vitamin K1 we find primarily in vegetables, right? They come from vegetable sources, and they're really great for bleeding, but they actually don't aid in like bone regeneration, your heart, your lungs. That comes from vitamin K2. And you don't need meat sources, although they primarily come from meat sources. You can get them from fermented vegetables, but they really aid in the processes in the body with like calcium and bone density and your absorption of them. So they actually function very different. They're both essential, but they come from different sources, and they have different.
No, so my question is, what if I had a vitamin that had vitamin D, K1, and K2? What would be your thoughts on that? Because those are, I've been seeing those. So my question is, do you think it'll be a good thing, or what is your thoughts on the vitamins that have vitamin D, K1, and K2 in it all together? Because I've been seeing those a lot as well.
I mean, even better because it's the full spectrum, right? So you need help with bleeding, which is vitamin K1's main function is to help with, preventing blood clotting or coagulating of blood. But then vitamin K2 is, for your bone density, your heart, lungs, they function different. So like you need them all. You need both.
Okay.
Elizabeth was the one. Elizabeth was the one years ago, and she tried to be nice because she's my neighbor and she's my friend. When I was at her gym and I was asking her, I was like, so, the protein and then the carbohydrate, I'm concerned about. She's like, look, Mark, you need to lose weight first. Don't get caught up in, you don't need to be worrying about carbohydrates and protein at this point. You first, let's get you down. And I think that we get lost. A lot of times we do get lost in so much of the sauce that, and again, and funny, I didn't see myself. I really did not see myself. I didn't realize how big I was. And I think that's, Elizabeth's talking about an internal dialogue, but also reality, right? Being able to see who you are, objectively look at yourself. That has to be hard. And I know, Sandra, you have, as a woman, your story is crazy. You've been through a lot of bad things, but you said something the other day, like Elizabeth was talking about that internal conversation. You still had this hope, even though through rape, through disappointment, through, the worst conditions, you still said you somehow were able to keep that positive thing, and you understood the power of your thoughts. Talk to us about that, Sandra, because a lot of people are going through that. I think some people wake up every day in a funk. And of course, probably it could be depression. It could be a chemical imbalance. But Sandra, how can they arm themselves to fight through those terrible scenarios, those terrible situations?
Number one, I would say God, knowing God and having faith every day, no matter what you go through, you have to increase faith. You lose family members that's very close to you, that you love, never question God. And I think one of the things that helped me was, as a young child, we were growing up in church before the split of, my parents, and just having that internal faith and knowing that no matter what, you're going to make it. You're going to make it, so you have to believe in yourself. One thing I did want to say about the supplements and just medication in general, liquid sublingual is better for absorption rates. People take these big vitamin capsules that are made by compressed 3,000 pounds of compressed pressure to make these pills, and most of the time they don't absorb in your body. So a lot of times this is stuff that's missed from being talked about, and the doctors they prescribe the medication, but they don't tell them that your absorption rate is only going to be about 50%, or based on the type of pill you're taking. If it's more powdery, the absorption rate is better. If it's liquid or sublingual, where you dissolve it under your tongue, IV is pretty much a way that it absorbs most. You get the most absorption rate. But yes, you just have to believe in yourself, and no matter what you're going through, don't focus on what you have lost. Focus on what you have left. Most people get so focused on loss and pain, they just attract more loss and pain.
Yep.
So we have to just change our mind, change our thoughts, change the way we speak. One other thing about the plants you was talking about, I do want to send a shout out to two of my friends, Stan and Steve. Steve turned me on to the garlic, and the garlic really helps with blood pressure. I was taking lisinopril for my blood pressure, and I noticed there are times I just take the garlic, and that controls my blood pressure, and my cholesterol is normal just by taking garlic. So I did want to send a shout out to him and his brother, because they very high up on Men's Health. One is a pharmacist, and they both really health smart. Men in general just give healthcare a hard time, and healthcare workers, and I'm gonna be honest, healthcare workers, nurses, doctors, support staff are the most unhealthy people, because we spend more time trying to keep everybody else healthy. Then we go home and take care of our families, and we forget about ourselves. You'll find that most healthcare workers are overweight. You know, the same doctor telling you to lose weight way more than you. You know? And that's just being honest. It's just amazing. And the young lady spoke about plants. I've been against marijuana ever since the Reagan generation, you know, and now getting more educated and knowing all the benefits of this particular plant is truly amazing. I know that's another story, Mark. I know that's
So you
another
smoking weed
show.
now?
No,
So
I
you
don't.
smoking weed now? Okay.
Sandra out here on that Grinchy green. What?
No, I don't
That
smoke
Maui
weed,
Wowie?
but I'm not against it.
medicated.
I
You're
used to be
medicated.
against it, but I'm not against it anymore. I used to be against it, but after you see all the health benefits involved, they have a pill called Marinol, which is,
Yeah.
you know, a marijuana pill,
Will it get me
and
high? No, I'm joking.
it'll take away your pain. You know, and you know, being in investigational drugs and stuff like that, you know, we had a lot of, you know, studies on that pill, and a lot of patients they have great results. I mean, you can get the prescription now. Some people prefer
What's it
smoking
called?
It's
Marinol.
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 Mhm.
Look, Sandra, I'm going to interrupt you because when we started about the women and dealing with how to process the negative and how to stay positive, you too tapped your head too, Coach, and I wanted to get your take because you're not only a wife, fitness, you're a grandmother, you've lived a life, Coach. You've lived a life. So give us some advice because again, I noticed like. You know, I realize now with Allison we lost her mom a couple years ago, right? And she was that mother that took care of everything. And now I just look at Allison and it's so funny. She now has turned into that person who's taking care of everything. She's holding down the household with that big salary. She's taking care of these 3 lovely girls. She has a relationship like Elizabeth with her girls where they love her, but they also respect her and they also just think she's cool. And so then she gets the calls about how to deal with boyfriends and da. She's dealing with her husband who's you know on his
All
little
over the
journeys all over the place, right?
He's all over the place.
And struggling to hold up his end of the bargain financially. And so when I see women now at the mall, I laugh because I know she ain't there for herself. She got a lot going on. When you see a woman at the store, she ain't there buying stuff for herself most of the time. She's taking care of them grandkids. She's taking care of her. And so, Coach, how do you manage it? I this last story I shared this before, but I remember Allison's mom who did take care of everything. It was the Christmas before her passing. I felt like it was the moment when she just had enough. You know what I mean? All the years of holding it up, she was snappy. She probably wasn't feeling well, but she wasn't feeling well probably for years and never said anything. But in that moment, I could tell something. We all knew something was wrong with grandma. Something was wrong. Now, she was having probably a health thing she wasn't dealing with because all these years she had taken care of everybody else, but probably not taking care of herself. So, Coach, how do women balance that out where, of course, you take care of those things, but you also take care of yourself?
That's a great question. First of all, you just have to tap out. You got to tap out. You got to tap out of everybody's business. Period. Everybody in the house. So this is my thing. I for years balanced everybody, my children, the dog, my husband, myself, my job, my children's a little job, their schoolwork. I homeschooled. I mean, did everything. Now that I am 60, sensationally 60, I must say.
Absolutely.
Listen, I have tapped out. I tapped out actually a long time ago with the children. My children now are 30. One is going to be 33 next month, and the other one is 32 in June. So listen, tapped out. They looked at me like, why you don't call us no more? Why you not stopping by? The only and as far as far as my husband, you can't tap all the way out with him. So, and so what I do is I let him know that I need to have this much time for me. I think I shared it with you all on the other day that I just had a Galentine weekend with some girlfriends. It was four of us, and all four of us are married. We tapped out. We went away for the weekend. We came back.
Wow. I love it.
We came back on Sunday evening for the Super Bowl, but we tapped out. We went got spa treatments, but this is the thing. It's hard as women, especially when you've been juggling and doing a good job at it, succeeding. It's hard to tap out. It's just like Mark. It's just like when an addict it's hard for an addict to stop smoking or stop eating too much or stop gambling. It's hard
Right.
as women to tap out and just say, listen, because of that connection, especially that maternal thing. It's hard. But this is what I tell my clients who come to me when the children have graduated from high school and they're totally lost because they've been so engaged in their lives and nurturing and mothering. And so what I say is you need to start earlier. Like Elizabeth, you need to start early. The children are going listen, they're going to have their own life. They're going to have their own thoughts, their own paths and directions that they want to go, even though we instill at an early age. We want to do this and do that. We want to have control. But Sandra said it. It's God. You got to put God in it. You got to say, listen, God gave me these people, including the husband, including the dog. He gave me everybody, but it's all temporary. But guess who he gives you first? He gives you yourself first. And you
Wow.
gotta
Amen.
tap and you
Amen.
gotta take care of yourself. And the
Beep the
one
horn,
myth,
Mark. Beep the horn.
the one
Right.
Yeah.
the one now it's a horn, that's horn
Man.
worthy. Um,
Man. Yes.
but the thing is that this is the point right here. We look at, and when I say we, a lot of people look at the word selfish being a negative word.
Mm.
But you got to be selfish. We got to be, it's great to be selfish when you're talking about yourself and the things that's going to make
That's
you
right.
stay healthy and make you stay whole mentally and physically,
Physically right.
spiritually, all of that. We have to be balanced, totally balanced. And the only way you're going to be balanced is to learn yourself.
Right.
Once you learn yourself, you're going to be at peace, you're going to be healthy, and you'll be able to interject and make a positive impact
Right.
on
The horn, Mark. The
everybody,
Yeah.
horn. The
on
horn, Mark.
You hit it.
everybody
The
that you come
horn,
in
Mark.
contact.
So
Yeah.
Elizabeth, and then Brooke. I see y'all shaking your head.
Yeah.
Woo.
Absolutely,
Go ahead,
absolutely.
Elizabeth, and
And
then
I
Brooke.
want to contact. We need to all connect,
That's
ladies.
right.
We need to all connect
What
because
about
Yes.
I
me?
love it.
What
I'm
about
at the
me? Oh, I'm sorry.
no, not you, Boots. I'm talking about the ladies right now because it is so important for it's not a competition. It's all everybody collaboratively working together to save us
Right.
as
Right.
women.
Right. I need
Period.
y'all too, though. Don't. I need you too, though.
Absolutely,
Go
we
ahead,
do. We can.
Elizabeth, and then Brooke. I saw you shaking your head, Elizabeth.
Yeah, I think, there's so many points she made that are just like on point. I mean, first of all, that we think it's like we lose ourselves. We actually lose ourselves as women. Like, we think that our success is measured by our family success. And so we let ourselves go completely off the radar, off the platform, because we're just like the kids. That are they doing this? Are they doing that? The husband, the we're not even on, we're not even second, third, fourth, fifth, like we're not even on the list sometimes. And
Mm.
what that
Right.
does is just it makes you miserable because you're not pouring into yourself at all. And they're going to grow up and you're going to be left with yourself, so it's just like
Right.
so important to really put yourself first, like your own wellness first. I have this little list I wanted to show y'all of like I don't know if you can see it. Hold on.
No.
You need a
But
hobby.
it's 5 hobbies. And I think it's so important to make sure you're doing things that feed you, right? Like, do you have a hobby? First of all, like, I didn't even have a hobby. Like, I used to draw, and then I realized, like, I haven't drawn in years, and why don't we do things to just make ourselves
Wow.
feel good? Just take
Okay.
Oh,
feed into
wow.
yourself,
Okay, Picasso.
you know? So I'm not at all. That was the first head I've drawn in,
That's
Oh, you're good.
beautiful.
That is really good.
Thank you. It's the
Amazing.
guy he was on yesterday. Thank you. But I think it's really important
Wow.
to
That's
pour
talent.
into yourself, have a hobby, take time for yourself, because if you're not balanced, you're teaching your kids to forget about themselves and not care for themselves when they're older and their parents. And
That's
they're
right.
gonna be done grown and gone and out the house. You're gonna have a miserable, marriage, miserable connection to self. Like, I think it's really important to like have things that bring wellness to your life and create balance.
Brooke, I saw you. Brooke was doing all this when that was
Yeah.
the coach was talking.
I was
Yeah.
snapping. I was
Yeah,
snapping.
she
Coach
was.
was
Yeah,
hitting
yeah.
point. She was throwing those darts. She was making it.
Man.
That's right. I agree. Balance is very important, especially with women. Like you said, Elizabeth, it's like when everybody leaves, we're left with ourselves.
Right.
So we tend to be number 10 on the list when we need to be number 1 on the list. And that's where I'm at now in my life. I'm like at a point where I'm teaching women how to get the spiritual connection. It's great to have a beautiful body. And like I say, a lot of women, because they don't know, we only do what we know, right? And our people, guardians, parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, whoever raised us, they're the ones that shape us and give us only what they knew. It's up to us to grow up and reparent ourselves, right? And I just got to a point and I was like, I'm afraid to be the same way for the rest of my life. I don't want to think the same way. I don't want to react the same way. I don't want to hold so tight to these beliefs. So it's time to like break out, and you have to shed layers of like conditioned
Right.
just heaviness of things that you grew up and you're attached, and you thought you were supposed to keep these things. No, we do not have to keep these things. These things we can shed, let them
That's
go.
right. That's right.
Right. So I say you have to put yourself first. I'm a firm believer in filling yourself up, because I'm a person that I like to fill other people up. So you have to tap out. I tap out so that I can refill, so that I can come back and pour life and inspire and nudge someone along the way and let them know, hey, come on, it's time to move, get snapping. We have things to do. You're responsible for getting yourself together. Once you get yourself together, that responsibility you have to pay forward. For someone that wants the same change in their lives, you're responsible for making sure that everything that you learned and you empowered and enriched yourself with, you got to give that. You have to give up that now. Give it away. So I'm at a place in my life where we're in an alignment. You have to get your mind right.
Mm-hmm.
And you get your body right, and then you everything right. So you get to an alignment. So, but what good is it? The point I was trying to make: what good is it to dress the outside up if the inside is suffering? Right. So you have. I say fix up the inside so that the outside illuminate. I apologize. Illuminate everything that you're putting on the inside. That's why now I understand why people say you're more than the surface. Your beauty goes skin deep. So you work on your inside, man, your beauty is just is inevitable. You're just going to shine wherever you go. So we're responsible for working on ourselves. So I'm healing, I'm helping others heal, and I'm just about community. Us getting back to getting along, thriving together. We don't have to agree, but we definitely need to like shed these conditions and differences so we can get back to holding each other hands and getting to that mountaintop. I'm about that.
All right, that's what I'm talking.
Right,
Wait a
right.
minute, this turned into a positive session. Yes.
That's right. Right.
Well, ladies, you guys are amazing. Quickly go around. People who want to get in touch, who want to contact you, want to reach you, or follow your movements and what you're putting out there. Since you said did that so well, Brooke, start with you and go around the circle. Brooke, how can people reach you and how can people find you?
All right. So I'm Brooke Stewart. You can definitely find me on Spotify. I have a podcast called Brooke's Utility Corner. It's all about community unity and bringing the support, keeping us supported and helping us keep our minds good so we can continue to soar and help other women do the same. You can also find me on Instagram at _heal with Brooke, as well as Brooke's utility corner, Brooks Utility Corner podcast as well on Instagram. Thank you, Marc, for having me. I'm so grateful for you.
You're amazing. Elizabeth, my sister, what you doing, little sis? How can they reach you?
I just want to piggyback off of what Brooke was saying, and in general, like, I just want to remind people that comparison is the thief of joy. So, like, social media and these people, influencers, or, you may think it's inspiring, but if somewhere in there there's a deep judgment that you're not that person, like, cut it off. Don't look at it. It's not helping you. It's just keeping you stuck to not feel good enough. It's bullshit. It really is. Like, comparisons, social, all of that, like, it's all visual, like, and it's so toxic, and it just feeds into your ego. And beauty is a game. It's a facade. It goes away. We get old. We all can get old, wrinkly, all that stuff. So I really encourage people to create boundaries with any toxic messaging you're getting from this crazy information age and social media. But you can reach me through Ignite Good Health. Here's my logo, Ignite Good Health, on Instagram or on the web, Elizabeth Savage.
Awesome.
Oh, and I also wanted to jump in really quick, guys. Did you all know that pistachios was packed with melatonin? You can eat pistachios and fall asleep right after you eat it.
I did not know that.
Yeah, pistachios are loaded with melatonin.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Sandra Pearsall, what's going on, Sandra? This is my sister too. All y'all my damn sisters, including Bootsy.
I would say I want to, end it with if you have your mental health and your physical health, you are wealthy. And we cannot be everywhere at one time, but God can. And if we realize that, your prayers are more powerful than your presence. And I just want to say thank you, Marc, for having me on. These ladies and Bootsy, y'all guys are wonderful. Your art, Elizabeth, is amazing. I want to see more of that. I want to see more of that. And Coach Ross, you was on point today. I'm telling you that you really have to mind your business. When you mind your business, you will be at peace because you have no drama.
Thanks, Sandra. Coach.
And yeah.
Go ahead, Sandra. How can they reach you, Sandra?
Oh, you can reach me on Facebook, Instagram, and the Marc Clarke Morning Show.
That's right. Sandra be riding with me, Jackie. She ain't on the show. She's in the comments, so she's always here. And also, anyway, we'll do that's another show. Coach.
Yes. Listen, I wanted to say this before. Marc Clarke, did you know that I am a 30-year plus respiratory therapist? I still have my license.
What is going on? All these damn jobs and these people, y'all ain't right. Y'all ain't right. We think you're doing this over here.
They holding back,
benefits and
They
retirement.
holding back, Marc. They holding back.
You're holding
That's
back.
right.
Bootsy, they got benefits and retirement. No wonder when I go to Coach's house and she's whipping up all these concoctions and cooking and stuff. Little did I know she got that doggone retirement check ready to roll off when she's ready to go.
Where the money resides. Okay.
Or the benefits.
No, but really, yes. I stopped practicing respiratory therapy in the hospital 11 years ago but I still have my license. And so I said that because Sandra was talking about the hospital care workers, and I was like, she was on point, spot on. And but I just want to let you know that, and also to let you know that that's part of the reason why I left the hospital and come right here on the other side to assist people towards a healthier lifestyle before they get to the hospital. And so that's one of my whys, and that's in my book that you need to get. But
yeah, well, tell us. Well, of course, tell us how to get it. But go ahead.
or you can go to my website and get my book. And so my website, how you contact me, is www.heavenlybodieslive.com. You just click on shop and go on in there and find different herbal remedies. My healing shot plus for the immune system, which is by the way, great for the allergy season that's coming up as well. So it's 365 days. You should take that. And what else? Oh, Facebook, Heavenly Bodies Live. That's 3 different words. That's how you can find me on that. There's a Meta business page now on Facebook. I'm just trying to keep up. And then Instagram is same thing, Heavenly Bodies Live. Everything is Heavenly Bodies Live. My email is heavenlybodieslive@gmail.com. But that's how you find me. And that's all I want to say. I'm good. I love it. We got to stay connected. Everybody,
right.
we have to stay connected.
That's true. I'm gonna do. That's the next phase. I need to, after the show, send everybody's contacts to each other, and I'll try to remember. It's a weekend, so I'll get to it, y'all. Ladies, it's been amazing. You guys have just every show, Bootsy, right? Every show we get some nuggets that you just they're invaluable.
We don't even see it coming, Mark, and we don't see it coming. We don't
see it coming.
We don't know what's happening. We cut the camera on. Yes, it is. But also Mark, because Mark has been attracting these amazing people daily, and I just sit here like, wow, So thank you, Mark, because you have been attracting these amazing people with this amazing insight, and it's growing daily, bro.
I'm just gonna say, what do they say? You can measure yourself by who you surround yourself with. I think the blessing has been I just happen to be surrounded by brilliant people that I can loan money from. So that's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Jesus.
I'll be calling you soon.
Y'all have a great weekend. It's Friday. Let's have a great one, y'all. Take care.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you.